would define wealth as the luxury of choice. The ability to do what you want when you want. And I would define financial freedom as your assets have replaced your need to work.
Welcome to the Richer Retailer Podcast, where we're actually talking about how to make you richer. In the last episode, we talked about how you might be unknowingly trapping your wealth inside your store, either through your inventory, the excess inventory that's on your shelves or in your back room, or perhaps in your garage, or perhaps in a storage unit. So many people have storage units that has inventory in it. And I just think about how that's just dollars just sitting there that they could be creating wealth by concentrating it there and getting it ready then to be diversified. It's crazy. So we talked about how that happens. It is a must listen episode with my amazing friend and the woman who helped me, and RETAILMavens financial planning partner, who helped me think big. Think much bigger about money than I'd ever thought of. And Kaitlyn Carlson, thank you so much for being here again. Can you give everyone a short little intro about what you do in case they missed the first episode?
Yeah, thank you, Cathy. I'm excited to be here. Like Cathy mentioned, we are so grateful and lucky to work with Cathy and Paul. They've just been incredible dream clients. But I am the founder of Theory Planning Partners, and my background is in private wealth management. And my mission with Theory was to bring the strategy and service and support that I was giving $100 million families, bring that to ambitious female entrepreneurs and their families, because I felt like if they had access to this information, we could really significantly change their lives. So that's what we're on a mission to do. And that's what brings me here today.
In my notes here, of course, we have notes because we prepare for all this. I wrote recap, and I didn't really do a fair job of recapping exactly what we talked about. So I just want to review this super quick, because what Kaitlyn does that's different is that, because she saw it in her career, all this amazing experience that she's had managing wealth for all these private families, and it's incredible. But what she recognized is that people like us weren't being helped, right? So that's why she started Theory Planning. And now the other thing I think that she sees even more clearly is that so many business owners, not only store owners, but so many are working so hard and building successful businesses, but not stopping to actually create wealth, to create complete happiness. And so it's about redefining what wealth is for you. Would you say, again, how you defined it in the last episode?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I would define wealth as the luxury of choice. The ability to do what you want when you want. And I would define financial freedom as your assets have replaced your need to work.
Exactly. And really what this comes down to then is the only way you can create those assets is to take the assets you have. And so we started by talking about your inventory, which is your single largest asset as a store owner. And you have to be super intentional about it. Like I said, listen to the last episode for the stories I shared. But the point is that you have to be intentional with your cash. You're having an open to buy, which, in case you don't know, open to buy or OTB is literally a budget for the inventory in your store. You have all sorts of different kinds of inventory. If you're a women's clothing store, let's say you have tops, you have hair accessories, you'll have jewelry, you'll have sweaters, actually, you'll have pants, you'll have gifts, water bottles, maybe fine crystal, whatever. But those are all different classes of merchandise. And so what an open to buy gives you, what we do with our clients is that we look at and forecast your sales, and we have an incredible accuracy rate for that, 97%. And then the beautiful thing is that we know how much inventory, how much stock is needed to create those sales. It's called a stock to sales ratio. And that's something that we know really well, because that you need different amounts of inventory for different things. Like for earrings, you don't need as much inventory, as much stock for a sale as you do, for example, for jeans. Because jeans, think about it, denim, there's so many different sizes, so many different washes, so many different styles. And so you need much more stock of denim in order to be able to sell one piece of denim to a woman or a man, whichever. But earrings, you kind of only need two. Fit isn't going to be a problem. Do you see what I'm saying? I want to make sure you guys understand that that's what the difference is. So we forecast the sales. We know what the stock to sales ratio is. It should be for every month, because it's going to vary, because you want your inventory to come in right before your sales peak. And then from that, then we give you what your open to buy is. Like we know what your current inventory level is. We know how fresh that inventory is, and we tell you how much inventory you should have in the store. The thing I want you to realize, though, about open to buy, this is what has blown my mind about my relationship with Kaitlyn, is that open to buy is not just an inventory tool. Like I for sure, Kaitlyn, have said to people, oh yeah, well, so we do open to buy. And so we provide that for clients and give them sales goals, which is also very helpful. But the fact is that it is not just an inventory tool. It is your wealth discipline. Incredible. It is incredible because by doing this, by being intentional about how much you're spending on the store, spending on your inventory and that's on the shelves and on your hangers, then you're not just trapping your wealth in inventory that's not moving. That's the key thing.
Oh my gosh, this is just like, I feel like I'm at church on a Sunday or something. It's so true. It's the little decisions. It's what you're describing, Cathy, is opportunity cost.
Mm-hmm.
Settling for, oh, well, over here, my $1 turned into two, without being like, well, if you just went over here, your $1 could turn into 10. And people not being aware of the opportunity cost. And what you're describing with open to buy, oh my gosh, you're like handing people the keys to the kingdom. And it's so important because that level of discipline in the business directly impacts your ability to create wealth as a founder.
Mm-hmm.
And you need that role in your life. And I am like very open about the fact that like I have a CFO because I am a personal financial expert, but I am not a business financial expert. I need somebody to help me with like forecasting how much cash to keep on hand, how much I should be giving in terms of salaries and bonuses, what I should be paying myself. Like that is its own distinct role that I need. Yes, I'm financially savvy, but in no means should I be occupying that seat for myself.
Right.
And so like what you're doing, and especially for retailers where it's like there's already so much that has to happen in terms of just running the business, to have somebody like you in their back pocket, like I'm just now appreciating and realizing, because like I'm not as fluent in the retail space, like what a secret weapon that is and what a ripple effect that has for the founder or the owner of the store.
Well, and the other thing that I'm so proud of what we do, as I say this, I realize it. So the open to buy is a key component because it's about bringing the inventory in. And so you have to make sure that you're paying attention to that. But the other absolutely critical piece is making sure that the inventory moves out. And that's also what we do. There's nobody else that does that like we do. Like we help you identify if that merchandise is on the floor too long. Like I could tell you, I could look at your numbers and I could tell you that, oh, so in sweaters, I can see very clearly that you have $4,000. Maybe it's $10,000. Maybe it's $50,000 sitting in your stores of sweaters that are over 90 days old that are not going to sell now. You have to take 25% off those things right now and get them moving. Like that's the other part of it, is we help them make decisions to move inventory out also. And I want to make sure that you're hearing this, not Kaitlyn, you, but you guys, that you're all hearing this, because you can't let that inventory get old. You can't just think to yourself, oh, well, the right person just hasn't come in. Like this sweater is awesome. I love your little sparkles on the collar. If you guys are looking at us on YouTube, I'm actually really proud of it. I actually wore my hair this way so you'd see all the sparkles on the collar. But my point is that, no, this just has to see the right person. No, it has already seen how many hundreds of people, and they are thousands of people. They all said no. Believe them. Don't get attached to it. Get much more attached to the cash that the threads of this sweater represent, that are sitting, not getting you any return on your money. And you work so hard. You work so hard for that money. Please get help. We'd be honored to help you identify how much you have to move out. It's just part of what we do. The other part about it is having these sales goals, because that, when you know that you have to have a goal to make by the end of the month, it just changes the way you look at sales, which is really just serving people. I look at sales as being the measurement. The amount of your sales is a measurement of the amount of service that you provide to people.
That's so beautiful. And another thing that you're describing that's so important is the work that you're doing with Retail Mavens. Is it's so nuanced and yet so critical because it's like the frog in boiling water analogy. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't make these mature and disciplined decisions over time, like they don't seem like a threat for a few months, but if you add up the years, then it becomes a pretty massive
Mm-hmm.
risk. And what happens for entrepreneurs is it's okay to be getting a business off the ground and sort of like being concentrated and living and dying by business performance for the first like 3, 5, maybe even 10 years. Let's say 10 years, you're living and dying by business performance. That gets really tiring. If you are living and dying by business performance 15, 20, 30, 40 years out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so by having an expert like Retail Mavens come in and start to make these fine tooth shifts and start to carve out places where you can start siphoning off places for you to receive as the founder who or owner who's putting in all the work, it's like really important for you to give back to yourself. We are humans. We need to go through these seasons of growth and seasons of harvest. If
Mm-hmm.
we just go from growth to growth to growth or just like push to push to push, then we lose steam and motivation and then just end up closing down shop because it's not worth it and we burn out. If
Mm-hmm.
you get in and make these nuanced decisions early on, oh my gosh, like the pain you are saving your future self is massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
It's for sure. That is very true. Yeah, I'm really proud to say that I've helped store owners open new stores in the over 20 years. They have only a few stores. The majority of our stores have had, I mean, the vast majority, high 90s, have had a positive cash flow the first year, including paying themselves as well as starting to pay down their startup expenses because we plan it all out. We have a store we just recently opened that's going to do $1 million this year, going to do it. And that was not her original plan, but it's because we've been able to tweak all this stuff. We watch all this stuff. And it's because everything has been intentional. Every dollar has been accounted for. And the other part about this is I want y'all to know is that profit isn't a reward. It's a requirement. It is a requirement. Kaitlyn, share with them really quick the vision you had when you started Theory, because that blew my mind.
Like my own financial plan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because
Okay.
people don't ever think about it like that.
So when I started Theory, I wrote out my current budget and then I wrote out like my dream, or I shouldn't say budget because I'm not really a budget person. I like to say like lifestyle. So I
Mm-hmm.
wrote out my current lifestyle and then I wrote out my dream lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And my dream lifestyle included my financial freedom number as well.
Mm-hmm.
But so I had to start with my goals actually. And so I did the overarching financial freedom goal. And I wanted to be financially independent at age 60, spending $30,000 a month. In order to hit that goal, I was going to have to build a $15 million portfolio. And at the time that I ran the calculations, that meant that I was going to have to save and invest $13,000 a month. So, knowing that my financial freedom number was $13,000 a month helped me reverse engineer my pricing, the amount of clients I was going to take on, because I had to cover my living expenses and cover my financial freedom number.
Mm-hmm.
So, it kept me super focused on how does this business help me achieve my goals?
Mm-hmm.
And so I built the model off of that. Now, when I started Theory, we talked about the difference between lifestyle business and enterprise business. You could categorize me as a lifestyle business when I started Theory because I was the only person working in it. And
Mm-hmm.
so having a profitable business that was going to allow me to hit my financial freedom number was absolutely necessary for me because the way I was going to secure my financial freedom was through my profits, through saving and investing that 13 grand a month.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, my business has shifted. I have hired employees. So I've now shifted from a lifestyle business to an enterprise business. However, I am still focused on saving and investing that $13,000 a month because I've structured the business to where it can provide that level of profitability.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I can secure my financial freedom through that disciplined saving and investing, it actually lowers the pressure on ever selling Theory. I will sell Theory eventually. I'm pretty transparent about this. It will likely be a succession plan. It will likely be an internal transfer, which means I'm going to be willing to take a lower dollar amount than if I were to
Mm-hmm.
sell it to a third party. But the fact that I will have secured my financial freedom, regardless of whether I sell Theory or not, lessens the pressure on me having to sell Theory, which again, we're talking like a 30-year plan. like it's going to take me 20 to 30 years to put this plan into place, but I've known the intention for theory since day one.
That's the power of it. Because the difference is that I know that when I started my businesses, I was just looking at paying myself versus building wealth. That's the difference between the whole thing. Whereas your point from the very beginning was building wealth. And I also don't want anyone to shut down and think, oh, well, that's not possible to me, or $30,000 a month. I don't think I need that much. Listen, that's all fine. This was just an example. Do not do yourself the disservice of shutting down when you heard those big numbers, because we are here to encourage you to think bigger. I'd like you to think that perhaps you'd like to spend $50,000 a month. Maybe you'd like to spend $100,000 a month, because the point is that you can do it as long as we start taking this step. So let's start right there. What should they do this month, Kaitlyn?
Well, after this podcast, I'm like, they should hire retail movements this month.
Well, thank you very much. I'd be honored to help them. But
like, and I love retail businesses. Like, we live in Marblehead, Massachusetts, because I just love the downtown. It's all small centers. I just love it. But I'm like, my God, if I was starting a retail business today, the first thing I would do is sign up for working with you. But I think it's really important to allow yourself to dream. Just like Cathy said, it made absolutely no sense for me to be saying I'd be living off of $30,000 a month. I was making $0 when I did the exercise, but I still allowed myself to dream and allowed myself to just really go for it and put numbers to paper. We live in the age of AI and the internet. Like, you can easily just have a conversation with ChatGPT or Claude about this and say, like, help me come up with a plan for achieving this vision for my life. But if you go back to 2019 days, I mean, you can just go to the Nerd Wallet calculator and type in like retirement calculator and start to play around with, by the way, retirement and financial freedom are synonymous. But saying financial freedom or work optional, our clients love to say work optional. That's much more appealing to entrepreneurs than retirement. But just type in Nerd Wallet retirement calculator and start to play around with these numbers and start to get a sense of like, what would I really want to go for? Because it's your business also needs a job. Your business needs a roadmap. It needs to be clear on like, what are my instructions? What am I doing for Kaitlyn, the founder? That's just going to bring so much focus. And like you said, Cathy, like the people that have this information from day one, they're the ones that are still in business 20, 30 years from now. So I would say that is number one. Number two, I would get clear on your own personal cash flow. This is something where I see most founders don't have a handle on what it costs to live their lifestyle. So I would get clear on your personal cash flow. And then as you start to grow, I would like focus on the profitability of your company and then start to hire a team that can keep you accountable and focused. So those are just three that come to mind.
Yeah, that's perfect. The one that I would add to this is, Kaitlyn, we offer Profit First as part of all of our coaching. And similar to what you said about how at Theory Planning, that your tools actually also give every dollar a job, which is how I look at what Profit First does. That's the purpose of it. And the first thing I would tell everyone to do is the very first time I learned about Profit First, it's what I heard. And that was to take 1% of your income right now and create a separate bank account. Don't do it in the bank where you do all your banking in, but do it in a separate, there's so many online options, put in a high yield savings account and pull off of 1% and set it up so that it's an automatic withdrawal to just go into this other account. In all of our financial planning for clients, we start everyone off with 1% because it's doable. You won't miss that money. You won't miss it. And then just let it start accumulating. So if you do nothing else from this, because I don't want you to start thinking, oh yeah, well, I'd love to get into Nerd Wallet. I'd love to look at that stuff and see what I need. Absolutely do that. Look at your calendar, time block it out like we always teach. But today can be the day that you start taking 1%. Just do it, because that's how you'll start it. And to Kaitlyn's point, I would recommend doing it at home as well as doing it at the store, doing it with your business, doing it with both of those things at the same time to start creating that money aside, because that's what this is all about, is getting you to look at this differently, right? This is what we mean when we talk about richer retailers, that it's not just about more sales, that it's not just about inventory, that it's a business that actually creates freedom, choice, the luxury of choice, exactly like Kaitlyn said, wealth and legacy in your life. And it starts with how you manage the numbers you already have.
Cathy, one thing I want to reflect to you is you're so good at taking action. And when you take action, you build trust with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad that you said that, because that is super important. Like, today, you can change the trajectory.
Yes. Well, 5 years went by before I ever actually did all of it. I completely forgot that I'd been setting 1% aside for 5 years. It was amazing to see that cash in the other account. I completely forgot it was there. It was
That,
great. It was crazy.
yeah, the pleasant
So,
surprises of building wealth.
exactly. Oh my gosh, Kaitlyn. So please tell everybody where they can get in contact with you.
Thanks, Cathy. Sure. So you can head to our website. It's theoryplanning.com. There's a link at the bottom to book a call. And you can also find us on Instagram at Theory Planning Partners.
Kaitlyn will be back, you guys. She is literally our financial planner, our wealth creation manager here at Retail Mavens. She is literally for Retail Mavens, but she is for all of us, for our community. I'm going to keep having her back so that she can help us expand all of our minds about the way we think about what we do. And also, Kaitlyn, the way you make us think about what we deserve.
Oh, thank you, Cathy. Yes, it's so true. It's like we deserve wealth. We live in an abundant universe. It's our birthright.
All right. Thank you so very much, you all, for being here. We're so grateful. We'd be honored to help you do this. And so don't hesitate. Go to our show notes. You can book a game plan call with Crystal, which this game plan call is not a sales call. In fact, we have a whole podcast episode about what a game plan call is, because it's about helping you start on this path. So if you're interested in getting more information about what we talked about today, that is the place to go. We'd be honored to help and serve you, and we want you to be richer. That's the whole point. Thank you so very much for being here, and Kaitlyn cannot wait to talk to you again soon. And for all of you, I want you to know that you are absolutely fabulous and that you are loved.